So welcome. I'm really excited to have this first webinar. I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land where we are meeting and pay respect to their elders, past, present and emerging, and also the traditional owners of the land where you are meeting, because this is a good thing about a webinar. We can connect from many different places at the same time. So what we will be covering today, first is what is a webinar, and second, information about what is the Deafblind Information Hub. Then I'm going to open it up to questions or comments from people, and you can do that in 3 ways, which I'll explain more when we get to that part. You can use the chat section, or you can use your voice and ask a question, or we can bring your video on and you can sign your question. So there will be 3 ways, and we'll be encouraging you to try it out. This is the first time many people have used this way of communicating. So we really want you to have a go, use the chat and ask a question in the way that is best for you. So firstly, what is a webinar? So I know Carla said, I can't see everybody online. Some people have gone to an online Zoom meeting where you can see all the people in the meeting. A webinar is different to a meeting. It's more like going to a class or a lecture where one person does most of the talking. Because this webinar is for people with deaf blindness, it's easiest to have just the interpreter and the captions plus my voice on the screen without a lot of screens to be managing. But we can bring other people's screen on if you want to sign a question. So there's lots of different ways you can do a webinar. Usually there would be a PowerPoint, a presentation, but again, we want to make it accessible for people with deaf blindness. So the communication is most important, and it's best if you can just see the interpreter and not have to look back and forth at a PowerPoint presentation. But we can give you more information that we've covered in writing after the webinar if you want it. We do want feedback because today is the first one. So we'd really like to know what worked or things that you think could be improved. So that will be helpful. We will be running more webinars for our project. So today is really about having a practice, seeing what it's like so that you'll be ready when we run our future webinars. So now I'll just check there's no issues. No, all good. Now I'll tell everybody about the Deafblind Information Hub.
Oops, sorry, Meredith. I've just had pop up from Wilma that she can't find the arrows to enlarge the caption.
So down the bottom on your left, it's like a little arrow that points up, and when you click on it, it should give you options of audio settings or visual video settings. something. It might be, if people are having big issues today, I can work with you another time to try to work it out. We can't spend too long today, and because I can't see what you're seeing, Wilma, it's hard to know, but most people should have a little sort of arrow pointing up that you can change the size of the caption.
So the arrow is next to the unmute and video on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. That's from Craig.
I think other people's screens are different.
Oh, okay.
So but we can work with you individually if you have any issues today. So please be in touch and we can work out how to do it next time.
There's a message from Cara. For those using iPad and Zoom app, the options are found on the top right area, so may be different depending on what device they are using. Justin has messaged saying there's only one interpreter, so I need some breaks. They'll need some breaks. And Carla has messaged to say that there's a large group of comm guides who are training in Adelaide. We have 2 deafblind people here. We need to leave the meeting as we need to continue with our program. All the best with this webinar.
Thank you, Carla. We might keep going.
Yep.
And thank you so much, Cara, for explaining on the iPad as well. Justin, we definitely have 2 interpreters. No problems there. So, what is the Deafblind Information Hub? Census Australia applied for a grant, some money, from the National Disability Insurance Agency in a program called Information, Linkages and Capacity Building. It's a lot of big words. To set up an information hub, and there are 5 aspects to this hub. The project will be running from June 2018, so we've already been going 6 months and getting things set up, until June 2020. So we have about 18 months to go. The 5 key elements of the hub. The first, there is a website that will have information about the NDIS that's very specific for people with deaf blindness. We do an interpreter swap now. So on the website, these webinars, the videos will be put up there. We will also be developing videos with Auslan that talk about key aspects of the NDIS. So that's one part, getting information about the NDIS to people with deaf blindness and their support networks on the website. The second part, also on the website, is information to service providers and community organisations about deaf blindness and about working with people with deaf blindness, their support needs, access needs, and all the different ways that you can make things more accessible for people with deaf blindness. The third aspect is the webinars. So this is where we'll be running workshops on things that you can get in your NDIS plan and other topics about the NDIS, but it will be a chance for everybody to learn together and share experiences and ask questions. The fourth aspect is really exciting. It's called Ask a Deafblind Consultant. So on the website, if you have questions about the NDIS, anything to do with the NDIS, or other issues that you're having trying to get services, you can go there and ask for assistance. And somebody will contact you in the way that's best for you. It can be with video relay, interpreting. We can meet like this. We can book interpreters for face-to-face, so you have interpreters with you to meet, or by phone or text, whatever is the best way for you to meet and discuss the issues to try to find a solution. So that will be starting in March. Then the fifth aspect is a mentoring program. For people to work one-to-one with a mentor, it will be a person who is deafblind, or a person who is deaf, or a person who is blind, that might have similar experiences or have had more experience but understand the issues that you want to talk about. So being matched one-on-one with somebody to share information and learn with. So that will be starting later this year. I expect there are quite a few questions. I hope there are some questions. That's really what I wanted to cover. And I wanted to leave the rest of the time for people to ask questions about the hub or about webinars. So I'll explain the 3 ways again that you can do that. You can ask a question in the chat. So to get to the chat, there's a sign. If you're on a computer, it's down the bottom. I think on an iPad it's up the top, but it says CHAT. If you click on that, it will open a section that you can type in. Or you can click on your keyboard, Alt, which is usually to the left of the space bar, ALT, and H. Alt H, letter H. That will open the chat and you can start typing. If you want to speak or to sign to us, can you click raise hand? There is a hand at the bottom that you click on, or you can press Alt-Y, A-L-T-Y, and that will put your hand up. And I have Karen Wickham here with me. Some of you will have heard her voice. Karen is keeping an eye on the hands that go up so we can check who's next in line to speak or sign a question. So there's probably, I've seen the chat moving. Karen, have there been more comments or questions?
So there are 2 hands up. Craig's identified 2 people who've got their hands up already, Justin and Paola. So we can start there, I guess.
Okay. So Justin, Craig, can you open Justin's microphone? When you put your hand up, our tech support will send a little message. A message will pop up on your screen that you need to unmute or show video. Then you need to click on your microphone or your video. Are you there, Justin? You might need to unmute your microphone.
Hi there. Oh,
Hello?
sorry, can you hear us?
Yes.
It's Kim Saxton, the interpreter. We're getting a lot of feedback here from the other computer.
Okay. If you're in a room with more than one computer showing the webinar,
Yeah, we are.
it's really important to mute the other computer.
Yep, okay. Continue. I'll mute us now and go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Kim. Okay. And the next person is Paola. Craig, can you share Paola's video? Invite Paola's video on. Is Paola on now?
Yep, she is.
Can you see her? Okay.
I might need to double click on Paola so I can see her better.
There she is.
Okay, welcome Paola. It's great to have you here.
Hello, hi, thank you.
Did you have a question?
Yes, I do. So when I was signing in Auslan, I just pushed on the little button, the chat button, but there's also the raised hand button. So I'm just confused if I want to put my video up there, am I clicking the chat or the raised hand? Which one?
Okay, good question. So if you raise your hand, it means you want to sign. Some people maybe don't want to share their video and just want to ask a question in the chat. And so you can just type your question in the chat. But if you would like to ask your video in Auslan, we can bring your video across. So it's just if you want to share your screen, or some people might like to ask a question using their voice. That's the people that put their hand up. You just put your hand up if you want to use your voice or share your video to sign. So 3 different ways.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Paola.
So Justin, he was kind of, it looked like his was blocked and I couldn't see the interpreter on here. So I was just wondering if, you know, everyone is the same, all the participants are the same, that you can or can't see certain participants.
So with the webinar, I'm trying to keep it really simple and make sure the interpreter is mostly just on the screen. So because I know Justin and I know Justin can hear, we were just going to bring his voice across so everyone can keep watching the interpreter. But with signing, we were bringing the signers across. I do know people want to see each other, so we will get feedback after this webinar if you think everybody should be seeing the video. We can do that. I was just trying to keep it very simple.
Thank you. Thanks very much for that.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks. Yeah.
There was a comment from Ricky. He didn't have his hand up, but he's put it in chat now. Have the mentors been identified yet, or does it still need to be done? How will that happen?
Okay, thanks for that question about the mentors, Ricky. One aspect of the Deafblind Hub that I didn't mention, so Craig, you could take Paola's video off now, is that there is a reference group with 5 people with deaf blindness from around Australia and a parent of children with deaf blindness and 2 professionals, all working to develop the website and develop the resources. So we've been quite busy and we haven't got to the mentoring program yet. So the short answer is the mentors haven't been developed, but towards the middle of the year, we'll be starting to seek people interested in the mentoring program and develop that program further then. So no mentors or mentees have been identified yet. Are there any other questions or people who would like to ask a question in Auslan?
I think there was an issue when Paola was on, because Kara's made the comment, the Terp's just speaking, but she needs to say it in sign.
Oh, and Kara, thank you for that feedback, Kara. And I
Sorry, can you say that feedback again?
Yes. Kara, thanks for, the feedback was from Kara that when Paola was signing, Kara could only see the interpreter speaking. And I knew that was a problem and I forgot. So if anybody else comes on to sign, the other interpreter will come here to relay. I'm really sorry, I forgot about that. I'll just tell you what Paola's question was. She was asking the difference between chat and putting your hand up. And also about the videos, why some are just black and some you can see the person.
I have a hand up from Justin, which I believe is Heather.
Right.
And also there's a question from Mark. His computer is set to high contrast, black screen, white text. Can I change the chat box from white to black background with white text? Craig.
Okay. I will go to Justin. I'll just answer Mark first.
Yeah.
Mark, I don't know, but I will check. I know, yes, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. I will follow up with Zoom to check if we can change the contrast. That's a good question. Now, Craig, can you bring Justin on? And I'll let Kieran come and sit and relay the interpreters.
Okay. So I'll. So it's Justin speaking at AbleLink. I think we've got a little bit of an issue at AbleLink where we've got multiple invites and a group setting. So we might need to address that for next time in terms of for AbleLink to have people together and have a better structure at AbleLink for interpretation and sound quality. We're having some issues on our end, but we seem to have got it okay. The other issue we have is making sure that we're following interpretation change, and a timing on that seems to be a little bit out. So we might need to interrupt to then be able to do the interpreter change, or if they can interrupt to do the interpreter change, if that makes sense.
It's Meredith speaking. Thanks, Justin. That's good feedback. I emailed AbleLink to say it's important that there's only one audio on, because that does create many issues if there's more than one audio, but it's just a good reminder if it's a group setting. Also for future, when I know there are interpreters on, we might say interpreters starting now so that we can sync the breaks as well as we can. I'll speak to the interpreters about the best way to manage that. Thanks for the feedback, that's really helpful.
Time for an interpreter swap.
Okay, an interpreter swap now. So I'm wondering if where you are, Justin, if the interpreters can swap there and just start to be in sync with the ones here.
Yes, we're ready. We've just done an interpreter swap.
Great. Okay. Okay. So any other questions?
There's a comment from David Murray. For the future hub webinars, will it be set up for deafblind people only or both with service organisations? Will there be forum type discussions or just information on the NDIS?
Thanks, David. And Craig, you can take Justin's video off now. So, yes, this webinar was open to anybody. Anyone can attend that has an interest in deaf blindness. The reason I was pushing really hard, mostly focusing on people with deaf blindness, is that I know for many people with deaf blindness, this is their first time to attend a webinar. So I wanted to make space and time for people to practice, to be able to ask questions. So when we run future webinars, the people with deaf blindness know what the access options are and feel comfortable with using it. So the answer to your question is the webinars are open to everybody, and we do have quite a few service providers on the call today, which is great. So open to everybody, and there will always be opportunity for discussion and questions. We'll always make sure the presenters speak for perhaps half the time, and that half the time is allowed for questions and comments. Any other questions or hands up? Okay. Today I knew it might be a short one. Because it's the first one, I really wanted to leave plenty of time and opportunity for people to try getting involved and participating and learning how to use Zoom. So if everybody feels comfortable and doesn't have questions about the hub or want to try different aspects of the Zoom program, we can end it early. I just wanted to ask and check if Wilma had been able to get the captions bigger. And Wilma might not be online now. So we'll wait to hear.
In a minute, Ricky has asked, how will the webinars be promoted or made available to people who don't have access to technology?
Ricky, that's an excellent question about how we make all of the information available. And I did just have that question from someone in Adelaide this week. There will be a full transcript. So they will get a transcript of what the captions say. So Karen has read out most of the chat, so people can have access to the chat through the captions as well. So there will be the video with the Auslan, the audio and the captions, and also a transcript of the webinar.
So Wilma has her hand up, and Erica has also commented on Wilma's question. She found the settings but was unable to change the accessibility settings, particularly the font size.
Oh. It's Merit. So was that Erica that couldn't
That was
change
Erica
it?
who couldn't change it, and Wilma has her hand up.
Okay, let's bring Wilma across on her audio. Erica, it's so when I've gone in to change the font, it's like a sliding scale that's small to large. So I'm sorry that didn't work, and we'll try and work out why it didn't. Hello, Wilma.
Hi Meredith, good to see you. I just wanted to get an idea of what I can do, but also I understand there is a website about this hub on Computer Now.
Yes, Wilma, thank you for the reminder. That's a #1 piece of information I forgot to tell everybody. Thank you for that question. It's a website that was developed several years ago. So there is a lot of information there, but we are gradually updating it with more new information. So the address for the website is www.deafblindinformation.org.au. If you Google deafblind information, I will be surprised if it is not the first thing that comes up. But the website again is deafblindinformation.org.au. So this webinar will be posted up there next week, I hope. And we will be alerting people of when videos are going up or new information is added. Ricky, in answer to your question, we will be promoting events through that website. I've also been promoting through the DB Ost list, which is a deafblind mailing list. I also promoted to Deafblind Australia members and on the Australian New Zealand Deafblind Action Facebook group. But please, if you hear about future webinars or information, I would really appreciate it if you all share with your networks. Another place I share it is on the Deafblind Information Facebook page. So I think there might have been some things there that people haven't heard of. So it's good to connect in all these different ways to be learning about what's going on in deafblindness. But please let me know if you think there are other groups I should be sharing with. I know of all the state groups, and the reference group has been wonderful in helping me to promote. So they've been sending it to their state groups and to their networks as well.
Paola has her hand up. Sarah has asked, is it possible to only have the interpreter on the screen? She's fading into the background a little bit and hard to see. And Melissa has...
No.
Okay. Thanks, Wilma. So Craig, can you mute Wilma now, please? Thanks, Wilma, for that question. Okay, we'll try to... so is it easier if it's only the interpreter? Sarah, would it help if the interpreter came closer to the video? We adjusted a few times at the start and worked out that was the best option. Craig, can you bring Paola's video across again, please? Yeah, thanks.
Sarah has said yes. Cara has said no, leave the term, it's perfect.
This is
tricky. And Paola's hand is down now and Justin's hand is up.
okay. So Craig, can you bring Justin across?
So this is from Heather.
Heather's saying, I just want to let people know what's happening with the webinar. We don't want to get a lot of cross emails, so I'm just wondering whether DBA can send.
It's Meredith speaking. I understand your point, Heather. I know what it's like when you keep getting the same message from lots of different places. The problem is some people belong to some lists, but not others. And there are lots of people who would like to come to the webinars who are not a DBA member.
Yes, that's true. Okay.
I do understand that it's frustrating. I guess you can read it once and every time you see it after that, quickly click delete. That's what I do.
Time
Okay.
for an interpreter swap now.
Sarah's commented again saying she means one interpreter at a time. So I'm assuming that she means one interpreter on the screen. But Wilma has commented and said she wants you on the screen because she's lip reading. It's complicated.
Okay. So, yeah, just get used to everything.
Yeah.
It's Meredith. I always knew we will never, ever get a webinar right for everybody. So what we are aiming for is to get it right for the most, for as many people as we can. I have explained when I've sent messages about this webinar that we encourage people to get communication support. We do understand that even with captions and clear audio and interpreters, it will still be hard for some people to access. So we are encouraging people to use their NDIS plan to book communication support if they need the extra support at the webinar. We still will take on feedback and try to get it right for everybody, but it's just too many different needs. And we just try to make it right for the most, the majority, but we know we can't get it right for every single person. That's why if there's communication support, to make sure you can get it with that person with you, that you get full access. We do believe if everybody has the right support, they can have full access. Any more questions or comments?
There's no hands up, Meredith, but I would be curious what people's experience of logging in and coming to this meeting was, and was that an easy process for everyone?
So that was Karen speaking, asking if people found it okay to log in.
So Justin and Jan have hands up now.
Okay. So we'll go to Justin. If it's Heather, we'll swap over. Craig, can you bring Justin across?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, it's Heather. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thanks, Heather.
Okay, so you saying that this will improve our discussion, but are we looking at deafblind people from other countries? If they're using Japanese, will that work for future? Yeah, just thinking about the future.
Meredith speaking. Great question, Heather. For the Deafblind Hub project, definitely only Australia. But if any deafblind person overseas wanted to attend and they could provide their own communication support, they could definitely attend. The information wouldn't be so relevant, but they could see how it is possible. I believe this in the future can be a wonderful way for people who are deafblind all around the world to connect. We were laughing yesterday at the Deafblind Victorian Cafe because somebody said if you go to a webinar, you don't get any cake. At workshops, you always get cake. But the good thing is you don't have to travel. So it's not stressful to find a building that you don't know, or to pay for the taxi, or for the airfare. So it is a much cheaper way for people with deafblindness to meet. We always need to meet face-to-face, and we know face-to-face is best, but I think a webinar is another good option to connect people. So now we'll bring, Craig, can you bring Cara across? And we need Cara's video.
And then Jan.
Oh, sorry, Jan, you were before Cara. I promise we'll get to you after Cara, Jan.
So can we double click on Cara's video? It's much too small for the interpreters to see right now. Okay, I think that's better. Oh, there's the lights in the background there, so I'll just move my around a little bit. Is that better? Okay, good, great. There's only one thing that I had a little bit of a query about with regards to the webinar. There's got some deafblind information on the Facebook group. Sorry, I've just got to get Cara to just go back a little bit. I'm just losing a little bit of the video quality there. Sorry, it's my internet, Cara's saying. It's not fantastic here. Apologies. I'll just go a little bit slower. So I'll go right back to the start again. So on Facebook, we have that particular page. There's a lot of comments there for the deafblind information. And there hasn't been a lot of questions for a while up on that page. But look, that's my preferred way for receiving a lot of information. But I have asked a few questions and I feel like I haven't gotten the responses that I've been looking for quite a bit of time. I think it's been about 2 weeks without a response. So maybe it's a good idea if that page was checked more regularly so people were getting responded to more frequently. You know, because, you know, that's really my preferred method. I don't use email or phone, so that works best for me. The other thing I really wanted to talk about was the website. I just feel like I'm not quite sure about it. I feel like, you know, an app might be preferred. And if there was information that we could download easily via an app, that might be an easier mode of getting the information that we're looking for rather than going to a website and searching for the information.
Meredith speaking.
I'm just sorry again about the internet quality here, guys. Thanks very much for that.
That's okay. Meredith speaking. Thanks for that feedback about the app. I can look into that. I just want to double check. There are so many deafblind Facebook pages. Can you tell me which deafblind Facebook page you're talking about? What is the exact name of it?
Yes, okay, so it's the Deafblind information.
Okay.
It's there. It's the information is.
Yes.
Yeah, the information there on that particular page.
Okay, we do check that regularly. So I'm very sorry to hear we missed one. I'll be sure to double check what I've missed. And thank you for that feedback.
I did receive, yeah, I was just kind of wondering what was going on because I hadn't heard back from quite some time. So that's all. I was just curious to know.
Okay, thanks. I'll follow that up.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks for coming on. So Craig, can you put Jan's microphone on? Invite Jan to share her audio. Jan, you need to click on your microphone. Jan, did you want to ask a question? Are you able to, Craig should have sent you a button that you click to allow you to unmute your microphone, and there's a picture of a microphone that you need to click on.
Thank you so much.
Jan has to turn her mic on. That just is Janelle.
Oh, is it?
Maybe it's Janelle, not Jan.
No, Jan. Denko.
Yeah, I know she's online.
Yeah. Jane, not Janelle. Jan. And so we'll have Jan and then Paola, and was there another Peter Cliff? And then Peter Cliff. Meredith speaking. I just want to let people know there are people from Western Australia, Adelaide, Tasmania, Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. So that is very exciting to get people from all over Australia together like this. Okay, Jan, we'll try you again, but for now we'll go to Paula. Craig, can you invite Paula's video across?
Just double click on Paula so I can see her nice and big.
Okay, go Paula. We can see you. Yep.
Okay, great. Hi again. So I know some deafblind people, they don't really have the skills to know how to use a webinar. So my idea is, I think it's really worthwhile to work with our comm guides, if possible, so we can know how to really make deafblind people feel more relaxed and become a bit more educated on the technology. Or maybe some different organisations who provide the comm guides could maybe organise a workshop of some description, possibly 2 hours, and we could just invite members of the deafblind community to come on board and give everyone an opportunity to learn how to use their computers or iPads or whatever device they're wanting to use. I think that would be really good practice, is, particularly as a peer group, to really develop deafblind confidence and our skills, and it's a good amount of time for people to really play with, whether it be the audio, the voices, or using the hand up buttons or the chat. So, I mean, this is my first time really doing a webinar, and I do feel a little bit overwhelmed, but I have my comm guide with me today, and they're really talking me through the process and helping me understand it better. So look, I'm still learning, every time with technology, I'm still learning more and more, but I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have the comm guides as part of the process in educating the whole of the deafblind community across Australia.
Thanks, Paula. I totally agree with you. So in the grant application, we will be visiting every state, because we know people need the opportunity to learn and practice. I invited people to go into AbleLink today, but unfortunately we didn't get many people. But we'll be putting the dates out well ahead to encourage other people to come together to learn with somebody there face to face. I agree with you. It's hard and scary to try something new when you don't have the support there with you. So we will be doing that as much as we can. And it will be good for people that attended today to tell other people that it worked and encourage them to try it as well. Thank you, Paula. So now, Peter?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I have a couple of comments.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Craig, you can take Paula off. So Peter. Craig, can you bring Peter Cliff over? So audio for Peter.
We're just going to do an interpreter swap now.
Are we right?
Yes, hello Peter, we can hear you.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, look, I was having problems trying to sign in using my email address, and it wasn't. I'm using a Mac. I've only had it for a little while, so I'm just getting used to it still. But my comm guides helped me out finishing it off. So the audio is very clear, and I think once I get used to all this myself, it'll be good for everybody else. So thank you, Meredith, for setting all this up. Thank you. That's it from me.
You're very welcome, Peter. And I'm glad Karen asked. It can be tricky getting in the first time. think once you've got in the first time, it's easier for future webinars. And I didn't want to overwhelm everybody with heaps of information and instructions. And it seems most have got in, but we'll hear from some comments from Karen, who was reading out the comments.
So there's a comment from Ricky. Just thinking, if people know what the theme of the webinar is in advance, but find it too difficult to attend due to their particular needs, could you take questions in advance and make the answers available through the transcript?
It's Meredith. Absolutely, that is a great idea, Ricky. I had thought that, but I'll definitely make a note to always put that in the promotional emails. I know I got some apologies for today, and I should have done that for today as well, but that's a really good point. We will do that.
And there's a comment from David Murray. I had a quick look at the website. Will there be information on how the Hub reference team is going, and maybe have a timeline of dates of Hub activities and goals listed on the website so deafblind people and their supporters can follow and fully participate if they wish?
Meredith speaking. Thanks, David. As I said, the website as it is quite old. We will be updating it regularly, for example, adding the webinars there. And I will be sending out through all of those communication channels to let people know when there is new information there. The reference group really just guides the process. So the activities of the reference group really are the activities of the Hub. There is an events section, so I will be adding the webinars and the mentoring program to the events section.
Justin has his hand up.
Okay, Justin. So Craig, can you bring Justin across with video?
Can you hear us?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, it's from Heather. So, you know that I'm here and I've got a hearing interpreter and a deaf interpreter. I'm just wondering with the interpreters, can people please hold? Because there's a lot of background noise. So when we switch, I'd like you to make sure you have a pause so that the interpreters are up to things. It might be noisy or something, but if people can use a sign for hold, and then we know what's happening. So we've also worked out a new sign for webinar, which was really fantastic. So the interpreters might, rather than finger spelling it, I'm not sure whether they can see my sign, but that's it there. Can people see, can the interpreters see my sign? And it's important to improve the language that we use with deafblind people and interpreters. So, yeah, it's important that the...
Can the interpret, oh, we can see your video now, Heather.
Here it is again. So the 3 fingers in the dominant hand moving up. Some people put that hand in front or behind.
It's Meredith. We can try it and see if it takes off. Thank you for giving us that sign, Heather. I didn't fully understand your first point about the noise and holding. I've been trying to pause at swap overs, so I'm not sure what the issue is there.
I think because I've got a deaf interpreter Sometimes I don't know what's happening. I think, yeah, you need to talk with all interpreters for their feedback about how it might work, or the issues that they've been having would be worthwhile.
Meredith?
Because I'm not quite sure from Heather myself how to explain that best, but I just know that there have been issues with the interpreting and the smoothness of that.
It's Meredith speaking. I think it was a computer audio issue, but I will ask for feedback from all the interpreters. It's always useful to hear how we can make things better for the interpreters so that they keep being willing to work with us. So I will do that. Thanks, Heather. And thanks everybody for so many good suggestions. It's very helpful to make the future ones as good as they can be. Is there someone?
No more hands at this stage.
So Jan, are you still there? And did you want to use your audio? Is there anyone else who would like to try using their audio or using their video? Nope. I feel like an auctioneer, going once, going twice. Okay, I think we might be done for our first Deafblind Hub webinar. Woohoo! Yay! Karen saying, yay! Woohoo! Thank you so much to all of you for attending and giving feedback and participating. I am really pleased with how it has gone. It was a bit scary trying it the first time, but I'm really happy that it seems most people could participate and use the chat or the audio or the video, whatever worked best. Oh, we've got another taker. Whose hand is that? Robert. Oh, Robert. Okay, so Craig, can you bring Robert across with the audio? And Robert, you will need to click on your microphone at the bottom of your screen, or if it's an iPad at the top.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, Robert.
How you going, Meredith, is it?
Yes, it's me. I'm good.
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good. Looks like the microphone side of things is working on the Android, actually. Remember the tablet I brought in yesterday?
Yes, good to know people are accessing it with different devices. That's good to know.
But I'm not sure the camera side, I'm not sure how to get that one working, because there does not appear to be an option for that. Just to test that out quickly.
Robert, did you want to show your video?
Yes, if I can do that briefly.
Yes, sure. So Craig, can you give Robert the video? So you'll get sent a button to click, and then the video will appear on your screen that you need to click. It will have a red line through it. When you click on it, we'll be able to see you.
Using the device audio. Now what happens now? Oh, here we go.
We can see you, Robert. Hello.
Hello, I'm just trying to line the camera up so I can get, yeah. Yeah, is that lining up all right?
Yes, that's perfect. You're right in the middle.
That's great. Yep.
Great. So it's nice for people to get to know different faces and see who's talking. So
Right.
where are you now?
Sorry?
Where are you right now?
In Paran.
Paran in Melbourne. Great.
Yep.
Okay. Did you have any other questions or comments?
They're not registered in. Does that registration stay, or does it have to be done each time we get a webinar?
It will be new each time. So it only takes about a minute to register, but I'll be sending that out each time there is a new webinar.
Right.
Okay. Good question.
You actually have to re-register each time.
Yes. So that
How
we
long?
keep track of who is planning to attend.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks for that.
Okay, thank you, Robert. And we have 2 more hands up. Oh, so Wilma, Craig, can you bring Wilma's audio across?
Yeah, okay.
We can hear
Oh.
you, Wilma.
Hi, Meredith. I have to say, you guys did an awesome job. And I also want to thank you for the moment you realized I was watching faces, and I'm not a good lip reader, but you all 3 were very clear, and that was very, very helpful too. I loved the black background so I could see well. It was a wonderful, wonderful organized event. Thank you so very, very much.
Wilma, where are you calling in from?
I am in Perth. I'm at home. And my com guide, Linny, wasn't there, so I've got Alex Madden with me to help me to set this up, because that was a challenge.
Okay. Hopefully you might feel more confident next time. I think sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 goes to learn how to do it. But we're so glad you could join. And Wilma, thank you. You gave me shivers that it worked so well for you. So thank you for that. We've been working hard to get the access right. So I'm glad that it does seem to be working for most people. Thank you so much for that feedback.
Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Yep, it was bye, Wilma. Swap interpreter and Paola.
Okay, and then Carol and then Ricky.
Oh, good.
I think people just have
So, yeah. So it's Meredith. We'll have Paola and then Carol and then Ricky. So, Craig, can you bring Paola across? Yes, Paola?
Okay, good. Hi.
Yes.
I'm all ready. Okay, hi again. I'm Paola. So I just want to make sure that we all know who's on the webinar and we clearly know what the different, how we log on to the webinar, and also the information for the webinar, all the deafblind information, Deafblind Hub. Sorry, so I'd just like to know the difference. So do we have a little bit more information for the deafblind community about how the interaction is happening, or ID sharing, or the one-on-one mentoring, all of that kind of information. I just want to make sure that all the deafblind people are aware of what we're doing and what's going on and how we connect into that information, because I feel like, deafblind people might feel like they're not receiving the information in a timely fashion, or that we're not really, able to access the website efficiently, and they think, it's, I'll just wait for the webinar, or, so I just really want a little bit of encouragement on why it's important to look at the webinar and to connect into the webinar. So maybe we could explain a little bit for people who haven't connected into the webinar, I mean, how are they going to get that new information, and how are we going to encourage other people in the future to start connecting into the webinar?
Meredith speaking. Good questions, Paula. From my experience, I feel like people with deaf blindness learn the best by doing and having the experience. Reading a lot of information is very confusing and can be overwhelming. So we have all the information on the website, but I'm excited that people that didn't come to this webinar can still watch this video. So they will see what happened and learn by watching how other people used it and how we interacted here today. And I think it's the best way to learn is by participating and coming along. We will write the information about what is a webinar, but still it can be confusing, and it's best to have a go and come along and learn that way. So I hope that answers your question. I think people learn in all different ways, and we just need to put it on the website, have the webinars, put it in the videos with the Auslan and the captions, and keep putting the information in all different ways so people can access it in the way that's best for them. Does that answer?
So you'll put everything in the video, the whole webinar, the whole 2 hours, or are you going to be cutting it down? Are you going to do like a recap or a summary of what happened today? So which one will that be, do you think?
Good question. I plan to put all of it, but people can just watch a bit if they like. I think it's a good idea to maybe show a little bit for an example that maybe we can put on Facebook. So I might look at doing that. But I think if we put the whole thing, people can watch as little or as much as they like.
Yeah, okay, great. Good, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very
Paola.
much, Meredith.
So now Carol.
Yep, screen.
Yep, and we need the video, Craig, for Carol. And Carol, you need to click on your video camera. Hello, Carol. Good to see you.
Hello.
And where are you now?
I'm here in Tasmania.
Great.
This is where I live. I live in Launceston. It's really lovely to meet you all. It's great to see you on the webinar. It's really fantastic. Looking at all the testing process and figuring out how to all link up together. It's been really, really exciting. So thanks very much, Meredith, for all your hard work. Congratulations, a job well done. Thanks very much to everyone.
Thank you, Carol. I'm really glad you were able to connect and join the webinar. I think it's the first webinar for so many people. It's a day to celebrate. Thank you, Carol.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Thank you. See you later.
Great. And now, Ricky, Craig, can you bring Ricky's audio across, please? Okay, Ricky, so there's two things you need to do to bring the audio across. There should be you'll be sent an option to unmute, that you need to click, and then there's a microphone that you need to click on as well.
Okay.
We can hear you. Hello, Ricky.
Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Okay. Yeah. So there's an issue. I was using a Bluetooth headset, and there was it stopped working on Zoom just the last couple of days, and I don't know why. Anyway, I've plugged the headphones in now, so I'm using the iPhone's microphone. But yeah, I just wanted to try the audio to make sure that it was working. But also, I wondered whether it might be a good opportunity to announce, given that we've got quite a few people on the webinar, the results of the Deafblind Australia AGM. And I'm very delighted to be able to tell you that I've been elected as president of AGM, and we're looking forward to a really big 2019. So very, very happy to be in this new role and looking forward to working with you all.
Thank you, Ricky. I think this was the perfect opportunity to announce that, because we won't be having this many people with deaf blindness all together for a while. And congratulations. It's actually really wonderful to have the immediate past president, Heather Lawson, and our current president, Ricky Chaplin, on this webinar. It's excellent to have your support and involvement. And Ricky, can you tell us where you are right now?
I am in Louisiana in the United States right now. So I'm normally in Queensland, but I'm over here visiting my partner. And she is also very, very keenly aware of people who are deafblind. She has two brothers who are deafblind as well. So that's really how we met at the Norris Disease Association. And ever since then, that was back in 2012. So ever since then, I've been coming across here to Louisiana every year. And it's definitely proof that this is an international forum. So it's fantastic.
That's really exciting, Ricky, that you're joining us from the US. And there you go, Heather. We've got someone from the US online with us. So next, I'm sure it will be Japan, like you said. Thank you, Ricky, and thanks for sharing that exciting news that we have a new president of DBA, Deafblind Australia, Ricky Chaplin. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, not at this stage.
Okay, we're back to auction time. It's your last chance to put up your hand or make a comment. Again, thank you. I'm really, really pleased with how well this has gone. It wasn't guaranteed. There's always the possibility of lots of problems when you're using technology, but it does feel like it has worked for most people. So I'm really happy. I agree, Paula, there are lots of people not online, and we need to reach out to them and work out how to get information to them. So we'll keep doing that. And we do welcome any feedback. You can send feedback to deafblind.consultant@census.org.au. And I think you'll get an email after this webinar. So there'll be a link to an email there so you can send feedback. And we do take your feedback seriously and want to make it work for you as well as we can. So still no more comments or questions? Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the next webinar. I should have had the date ready to go. I know that it will be April or May. So I will get that date out as soon as I can. I'm actually going to be giving out the dates for all the rest of the webinars, so you can put them in your diary, and we'll know the topic for the first one, but the future ones will keep you posted. Sorry, we have got a hand. Oh, Paula again. Sorry, yeah. Okay, we'll bring Paola over, Craig.
All right, thank you again. It was really great to see you all. What a wonderful opportunity. And I'm really looking forward to the next meeting or webinar, should I say, in, April. Time does go so fast. I really look forward to the next topic. So thanks again. It was lovely meeting some new faces. It's been really fantastic to have that opportunity for meeting new people. And thanks very much, guys. Well done.
Great. Okay. Thank you for that positive feedback, Paola. I can let you know the next webinar topic will be what sorts of things can I get in my plan. I think there's some confusion about what can and can't be included in an NDIS plan, and it will be particularly focused on the sorts of things that people with deaf blindness need to meet their goals and do the things that they want to do. So that will be our topic for April, May. Thanks everybody, and hopefully we'll see you at the next webinar online. I'll also be announcing what state we will be in and where the face-to-face meeting will be for the practice of learning how to join the webinar. So I'll be putting all of that information on the website and out through all the networks. Thanks everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye. So Craig, you can